it isn't a surprise because of his compete, and no one's more competitive in the National Hockey League, or has been, other than maybe Sid for the last 10 years. And we're seeing that, and he's now 60 minutes away from getting his second cup. And you can make a serious argument that he should win Conn Smythe. I know Bennett's right there too with his 15 goals, but it's Brad and it's Bennett, and that's two free agents that are going to make some serious money in the next couple weeks.
Welcome back to the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by BODOG. We are your line mates, Commie, Razor, CBall, better known as the 2006 Stanley Cup winner, Mike Commodore, the 2004 Calder Trophy winner, Andrew Raycroft, and me. I'm the one who just tells you just how bad or good your player is performing in shell. All right, we got a lot to get into. Like, this is the last time we're talking about games this season, because the next time we record, there will be a Stanley Cup champion. But first things first, before we dive into the puck, Commie, your Instagram this past week has been something to follow, man. You have been a must follow for anybody who's been living under a rock. Commie's a good follow to begin with. But Jared Goff, golfing with Jared Goff. Okay, let's talk about this for a second here.
Yeah, I had a nice little 6 days of golf. I kicked it off out at Pine Canyon with Brad Richardson, played for the Kings, won a cup, and we had a little member guest out there up in Flagstaff. So I did that, and then I helped Ray Whitney at Whisper Rock, where I'm at as well, host 9 animal friends from home. So that was Friday, Saturday, and then I had to bail on the party a little early. I was out first thing in the morning, flew to LA, then jumped on the plane with those guys. It was me, all these Michigan guys around here are like, did you play golf with my quarterback? I'm like, yeah, I guess I did. Yeah. So Jared Goff, and I got the invitation from Teddy Purcell. Teddy and I have been buddies since we played in Tampa together. And then the member who was, we were talking earlier about SoFi Stadium offline there, CBall. The member was he used to be the former CEO, like chairman of the board of AECOM or AECOM, whatever they build. I mean, this guy had some crazy stories. This guy has done laps of the earth. Oh, this guy is not hurting for coin. I'll tell you that right now. But we stayed at his place. But anyways, to shorten up the story, flew in there, went straight to Cyprus on Sunday, played 18 holes, stayed at, the guy's name was Michael as well, the member, stayed at his house right there, right off number 5 at Poppy Hills, and then played again the next day, then flew home in the evening. But yeah, it was awesome. Long story short, I had to bail on a round. I had an opportunity to play there like 10 years ago. Long story short, I was chafing at Pebble Beach, couldn't walk, so I didn't play the next day. Oh yeah, dude, it was bad. I'll tell the whole story later, but I had to bail on the tee time, gave my tee time to John Michael Lyles. I was in. It was a seniority thing. I'm older than him. So never had an opportunity, but Teddy and I were the two guys odd man out 10 years ago. So Teddy remembered, he got invited. So the guy's like, hey, you guys find a fourth, like whoever you want. And so Teddy thought of me because I didn't get to play it. We went to San Fran and had some beers instead 10 years ago. So it was awesome. Really cool golf course. Kind of like, I didn't know much about it. Just like I seen pictures of the 16th hole, which everybody's seen, the long par 3 over the ocean. But it's kind of cool. Like you start in the forest, I would say, and then you're kind of walking through the trees. It's wooded for like the first 6, 7 holes. And then probably about, once you start getting like to 8 and 9, yeah, I'd say 8. Then they're like the next six holes or so are like in the sand dunes. And then starting on 14T, they call it the ocean. So then you're teeing off and you're walking along the ocean. So the golf course was great. There was like a couple of, it's an old school course, right? And then a couple of like a little bit weirder holes, but very, very nice. But I'd heard that, everybody said it's the greatest walk in golf. And I can see why. Like the walk along the ocean is definitely really, really cool. But yeah, fun spot, like interesting old school rules. Like we sat down for lunch. I'd never been there before, obviously. And I sit down before we tee off day one. And the waiter's like, what would you like to eat? I'm like, can I look at the menu? They're like, we don't have a menu. I'm like, okay. I'm like, he's like, order whatever you want. I'm like, whatever I want. He's like, yeah. I'm like, so I just panicked and got a vegetable omelet.
give me a burger.
I'm like, just a vegetable omelet. But I guess, anyways, it just like some cool things like that. And anyways, I had a really good time. Everybody played pretty decent, I would say. So it was, and I guess more importantly, the weather was good. Like it can be bad up there. We had 2 days that were like basically perfect. So it was awesome.
I can't get past the chafing.
It always evens out for Commie. Even when he chafes 10 years later, it comes back to him. It's
wow. That was a rough day. Dan Cleary, the Cleary Horkoff Invitational. This was like year 1 or 2. I started chafe. It was year 2. And I could feel myself kind of starting to chafe. So we're on the tee in like 10 minutes at Pebble. And we had gone to Bandon the year before, and they had this stuff called butt paste, basically like Vaseline in a little package. And I'm like, man, I'm hurting here. You got to walk. I'm like, I got to do something about this. Going to the pro shop, I'm like, hey, do you guys have like some like butt paste or Vaseline or something like that? They start laughing at me. I'm like, I was pissed off. I'm like, you mother. I know what's coming. So I just turn around. I walk out. I'm like, I'm paying $700 a round to play here. I'm tipping this caddy 300, and these guys are laughing at me. Anyways, I get out there by hole 6, that par 5, the famous one up the hill there before the short par 3. I'm done. Like, I'm walking full-legged. I went up to my caddy. I paid him the full fee. I go, give me my bag. He's like, no, Mr. Commodore. I go, give me my bag. He goes, no. I go, here's your full fee. I go, this is going to be painful. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just give me my bag. I got the rest of it. Go home. Have a good day. He's like, okay. So I grabbed my bag, and it was a death march shot. I don't even know, 200. I mean, I couldn't even hit the ball. I didn't talk to anybody. I walked on the other side and just like bow-legged marching around for the next 4.5 hours. Got done. Everybody went to dinner. I'm like, I'm out. I went right into my room, took off my clothes, laid down, spread my legs, laid down, and I was out for 12 hours. And the next day was Cyprus. I'm like, I want to play so bad, but I'm like, I can't. I won't enjoy it. So you're welcome, John Michael Lyles, if you're listening.
Oh my God, that is all time. That is an absolute all timer.
So you got a golden tan here, Razor. So
yeah, let's hear about this trip.
Yeah,
you just went south. Can you top chafing?
No, but
one of the most spectacular courses on the planet.
To be honest, there was some chafing on the beach. Me chasing my kids around in a bathing suit after not having a full winter of that happening. So yeah, there was some Vaseline getting pulled out, no question. Lots of surfing. The kids loved it. So I was basically like the surf instructor, right? Like I was in the water all day, completely burnt on the first day, just scorched.
In Costa Rica, right?
In Costa Rica, yeah. Sorry, went to Tamarindo in Costa Rica, right on the beach, literally beautiful, right on the beach. And I just pushed kids into waves all week, and they loved it. We had a golf cart, we drove around, and the jungle, the zip lining, all of it. So I had a good week. We did go out. There was a Sharkies. The infamous Newport Beach Sharkies. There was a Sharkies in Tamarindo, so I watched hockey games there at night, which was great.
Oh, cool.
2 hours ahead. So the kids and I, I'd have 9 margaritas and drive the golf cart home, no problem. And
perfect.
It was a perfect vacation. So all good. It was fun. It was a blast, and now we're back to normal.
Yeah, so a foggy sort of scout cam watching these games.
Yeah, exactly.
just like the old days.
Listen, all you needed to do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly how guys used to scout. How probably I made it. But all you need to do was watch 63 out on the ice. That was it. You found 63. You found the puck most of the weekend.
Are you surprised? So let's jump in right from there from a hockey standpoint. I mean, you watched them for years, right? I mean, Boston's been home for the better part of the last 20 years for you or longer. And, you've watched Brad Marchand grow up and evolve. Now he's kind of father time at 37, but yet guys turn back the clock. And I mean, look, everybody's surprised, but the way he was playing at Four Nations, Razor, like, give me your sense of what you've seen from this guy for all the years at Boston and what he's doing now.
No, exactly. Not surprised. So I talked to Brad when he got traded. Florida was back like 3 days later, and he was with the team. I watched the whole second period with him, and so I talked to him for about 45 minutes, and he was so excited, and he was disappointed with the way things had, played out in Boston, just how the season went, and he felt responsible for that. But Florida was a spot, and he had high conviction that they were going to win another Stanley Cup at that time. He's like, we're going to win a Stanley Cup. Like, this team's going to win a Stanley Cup. And he blew his shoulder out, so he was hurt. And I think what we've seen is he just needed that full regular season to get back. And the fact that he's on a third line and he's not, he's getting matchups now, but he wasn't getting matchups. It isn't a surprise because of his compete, and no one's more competitive in the National Hockey League, or has been, other than maybe Sid for the last 10 years. And we're seeing that. And he's now 60 minutes away from getting his second cup. And you can make a serious argument that he should win Conn Smythe. I know Bennett's right there too with his 15 goals, but it's Brad and it's Bennett, and that's two free agents that are going to make some serious money in the next couple
and that's
weeks.
The story. And just to kind of lift the curtain on the show here just a little bit, I remember talking to you. I called you one day a couple of weeks prior to the trade deadline, and I remember saying to you, like, Marchand's not really getting traded, like all this noise. And I remember you saying, like, no way, man. It's not happening. And
for this reason, was my opinion.
Yeah. And here we are now, just unbelievably remarkable. Commie, last week we were talking, and I think the two of us, and particularly you, we were given a tip of the cap to the officiating, and like, man, the first two games of this is great. Look, Edmonton's kind of lost control a little bit, but man, Florida does a really good job of getting the Oilers to take the bait, don't you think?
Yeah, no, they do. And like, I think there's always going to be people who have been bitching about the refs. And, I got a lot of people on my Twitter account. I think if you broke it down by area, it's mostly going to be Calgary and Edmonton. So I get a lot of
Alberta.
Coming. Oh yeah. So I see a lot of Edmonton stuff, and are some of the maybe valid points? Sure, but maybe looking back, but I have a tough time like really ripping on the officiating. I think it's been fine, but yeah, I mean they've sucked it in. I mean, I thought the games were great. Like sitting there in game 4, 3-0 Florida right out the bat. I'm like, oh boy, but I'm like, it is early. I mean, if you're going to be up, if you're going to be down 3-0, it's better to be down right away. The Oilers come back, and it's like, okay, here we are. Like, okay, big swing of emotions. The bench didn't, they panned to the bench in the first, and things didn't look good. And anyways, they bring it back. Florida ties it at the end. Anyways, win in overtime. You go back to Edmonton, and you got a huge opportunity there. And I sat and watched that game. I was at a little birthday party just down the street at the Rooster Tavern, but I watched the game, and it seemed like Edmonton, I mean, they had some chances, don't get me wrong, but it just seemed like Florida smothered them. And, especially, I want to say the first half of that game, every time it seemed like Florida had the puck all the time. So, all's not lost. But, yeah, I mean, the Panthers.
Why is this happening? Like, Edmonton's given up 11 first-period goals here, guys. Like, is this a lack of preparation? Is this just something a Florida thing? Like, give me a sense of what's going on.
For me, well, a lot of it's Florida. 90% of it's Florida, and the 10% on Edmonton's side is because Florida does Edmonton has to work so much harder than Florida. They just do, and we knew they were going, and it's not over, right? Like, we're going to get to that because it's not.
No,
but we knew Edmonton was going to have to work harder. McDavid and Draisaitl were going to have to do more than the collective group of Florida. They're deeper. They play a style that is so replicable, in that they can do it over and over and over again. They're going to do it at the start of each game, no matter what, and they're going to get to it first. And that's what we've seen. They get to their game first because it's easier to get to their game. Edmonton has to get some razzle-dazzle going. They have to make a play. They have to touch the puck for 30 minutes before they really feel comfortable, where Florida's ready to go out of the gates. And that's what we saw in both game 4 and 5, where Edmonton got to their game. They figured it out. They figured out the razzle-dazzle, but in game 5, they couldn't because it's a quick turnaround. They played every other day. I don't think that helps Edmonton in any way. This 2-day break helps Edmonton. They reset, they get some energy, and they have a chance going into Florida because Florida hasn't been able to close out at home. They haven't been as good at home, and that should give Edmonton some opportunity. But the reason why is because Florida's a better team, and it's easier for them to get to their game. And I think we all knew that going into this series. It's really on the superstars. Can they pull out 2 more wins?
Commie, McDavid, 1 goal so far this series. He gets one in the losing cause in Game 5, but yeah, he's got 6 points or so in the Cup final right now through 5 games. But do you need to see more out of him? Right?
I
Like,
mean,
some people say he's unlucky. I mean, I don't know. You
yeah.
tell me, man. You know what it's like to win. I mean, give
I'm
me a
going to have
sense
a
of yours.
hard time sitting here saying I need to see more from Connor
Yeah.
McDavid.
Yeah,
I
I'm with
mean,
you.
this
Yeah.
guy is, I was talking when I was watching the last game, his name always comes up, and there was like 40, 50 people at this birthday party, and they've been paying attention. To be honest, a lot of them started tuning in. They're all Americans, started tuning in at Four Nations. But they, they're involved a little bit or whatever. They know they aren't ignorant, and then bring it up. I'm like, look, this McDavid, he can play. So do I need to see more to answer the question? I mean, I guess this is an opportunity. Look, he's incredible. I guess this is an opportunity for him. I mean, if he could put a couple home or, really have an outstanding game, it's maybe an opportunity for him to put like an exclamation point, a little bit of a legend game or maybe something like that to get it home, however you want to wear. That's not the word I'm looking for, but
But to your point, and for both of you guys to jump on this, because here I see something last week, and there were a bunch of people on social media frustrated because there was a clip that was kind of making its way around on social. Stephen A. Smith, right? So Stephen A. Smith from ESPN is talking about how, and look, we'll say Stephen A. is probably a peripheral hockey observer
very
at
casual, I would say.
the best of times, right? And so, but let's say Stephen A. is not alone across America in terms of being as a hockey observer,
Sure.
more casual. Right. And so when you talk about, the best player of the game, the best player in the world, the best player on the planet, and here he is in the finals and he's got 1 goal in 5 games. Now, if you're a hockey observer and you're a hockey purist, you say, okay, 1 goal in 5 games in the Cup final. Okay, well, maybe he's doing other things, picking up assists and this and that. But, for a casual observer, yes, the game is different from football where, touchdowns as a quarterback or, LeBron or a star in basketball can put up 30, 40 points a game like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or something. But here we are with Connor McDavid with 1 goal in the Stanley Cup finals, and a casual observer say, where's the star here?
Well, I mean, Steve, and you know what? And it's a little bit, he does have a little bit of a point, I would say, for sure. But, this also, Stephen A. Smith's he's a football basketball guy.
Yes.
Basketball, you give the ball to the best player, the guy can go through 5 guys and score. I mean, basketball's it's a team game, but individually you can dominate. Where hockey, like, hey, look, Connor McDavid dominates. Like, there's no question about it in my mind. It's just, it's not as simple as, here you go, Connor, now go through everybody and score. Like, he shouldn't be able to do that, especially not against Florida. So yeah, I get what he's saying. It's a little more complicated in my opinion in hockey, but yeah, this would be a great time for Connor McDavid to come out and have like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Now that's obviously that's a lot easier said than done. That's a hell of a game, but if he's going to do it, tomorrow night would be a good time.
Now's the time. Yeah.
Well, and BODOG's got him at plus 800. It's not bad. It's pretty good value because that's possible. The reality is it's possible because it's him. I think of Mark Messier and his guarantee. I think
Sure.
of the guys who have won that are ultimate legends have had that Game 6. Sidney Crosby, we've talked about Sidney Crosby in the comparison to losing and then winning. Well, when Sid won in 2009, they were down 3-2. They were going home for Game 6, a little bit different, but they were down 3-2. They won Game 6 and they won Game 7, and Sid became the hero. So that's where I don't think Florida's in the clear here. And again, we saw them do this against Toronto. They were up 3-2. They go home, they laid an egg. Edmonton and Connor McDavid, all he needs is if he has one huge game. And ideally it's Game 6, so then Game 7 is being played. But if he has one, that's all you need in hockey. So the NBA guys, they need to do it every game, all 4 games to win. That's the difference in hockey. You only have to do it once. If he has a hat trick in Game 6 and they win, he's got a statue right beside Wayne if they win Game 7. Like, it's done. It's automatic. He's the greatest of all time. And that's the opportunity that he has. Now, if they lose, he was always going to be the fall guy. because the goalies are secondary. The goalies, we already knew that was a disaster. It's turned into more of a disaster.
We got to talk about that too.
Who plays game 5, who plays game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals?
Who do you go with for game?
Yeah,
six?
I wanted to ask.
You got to go Stuart Skinner.
You go back to Skinner.
I have my opinion,
but Pickard was bad in game 5. Like those goals going through his legs, like he has to make a save. I watched King Henrik. I watched Wayne after the post game, and both like he had to make saves. He didn't. He looked like what it was. So you go back to Stuart Skinner, who knows what you're going to get. So really, like that's really why they're down 3-2. But Connor McDavid is the best player, and if they lose, it's going to, he is going to take flack from that.
Yeah, Commie, stick with Skinner.
God, I didn't know. When they, yeah, I mean, hearing Razor say that, I'm not an expert on goaltending by any stretch, so my only but I don't know the guy. I'm not in the room, so I don't know. And now it does seem like this Stuart Skinner, he comes in and he plays great, like in situations that don't seem ideal. I was thinking like, okay, well, Pickard or Picard comes in there in game 4, plays great. Things don't work out in game 5. They lose. And you're going back to Florida. Like, is that, I don't know.
It's not ideal, Commie.
It ain't ideal. I mean, I wanted to be like, okay, Stuart, and that's yours. Like, is that fair? I don't know. But they have been popping him in and he plays great. So my first inclination was you got to roll with this Picard guy. But now listening to you, and I would say Skinner. Yeah, fire him in there. I guess he's your number 1 goalie. If you're going to go down, you might as well go down with him, I guess.
Yeah, it's basically like asking my kids, would you like liver or broccoli for dinner tonight? Right.
Right.
Like, what a situation for Edmonton to be. Like, it's amazing. Here they are, through 5 games of a Stanley Cup final to get with a tandem of Skinner and Pickard, but all of a sudden it's being exposed in a big way. Okay. So there we are. I think we're all in agreement. It's not over until it's over with this series. And I mean, part of the reasons why I like the Oilers to begin with was I just thought that McDavid would not be denied this time. And so, I mean, he's got an opportunity.
It ain't over.
Yeah. And if there's ever a guy to level up, it's Connor McDavid. Other hockey news, I do want to hit on another story that's kind of, it's got some eyebrows and people talking, especially when involving the Toronto Maple Leafs. But a report in the last few days since we record this comes from Andy Strickland saying that Mitch Marner is 100% not coming back to Toronto. Do you guys buy it? Like, just given the timing, like here in the middle of June, we're ready to hit the market. I mean, everybody's kind of been jumping on this, reacting and this and that. But I mean, let's start with the former Maple Leaf here.
Yeah.
Razor, do you buy the timing of this report?
Listen, sure. I buy the report. Somebody told Andy he wouldn't come up with that on his own.
Yeah.
Somebody told close to him that he's not signed. He's not coming back now. And I don't think Mitch is going back. I don't think Brad Treliving, who is a really smart guy, Craig Berube, I think they understand the dynamic here. And it's just, they just can't. You just, no matter what, even how great a player Mitch Marner is and et cetera, you just can't go back with the core. And that's the best way to not do so. My only caveat is, and Commie will relate or be able to back this up, is that things change really quickly in free agency. Like, you say you're not going somewhere. I said I would never go to that team. I'll never go to that team. And then sure, October 5th, I get paid and I'm playing on that team with those guys. Like it. So the idea that it's done right now, that I would push back on that a little bit and say that things can change very quickly over the next couple of weeks if somebody makes a decision that they want to do something. What if Mitch Marner goes to the Leafs and say, you know what, I'll take $5 million for the next 3 years. I want to stay a part of this. He's staying in Toronto if that happens. So things can change, but I think the report is real. I think Andy was told something and that there is I would lean, if I had to go to BODOG, I would be saying that Mitch Marner is not coming back to Toronto.
You've been a free agent a few times, Commie. Like, would you tip your hand? Like, yes, there's reports suggesting that the Marner camp's not engaging with the Leafs, but I don't know. Like, why would you give up leverage at this point in time? Like now?
Yeah, I don't. doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, I was a free agent a whole lot of time, but I wouldn't say I was sought after. So things are a little
You were once.
Mike Commodore's free agency to Mitch Marner's, but yeah, it is
my free agency was like July 30th. That's my first date. Talking to
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Please call me before you go on vacation for August. Somebody call. You know what? It is going to, if he does end up not coming back, I saw a couple tweets. I kind of laughed. I mean, is this guy going to get booed relentlessly when he comes back to Toronto? I saw a few tweets where they're like, this guy, we had opportunities to move him for assets. He said no, denied everything, having the Leafs walk him to free agency. Then we get nothing. He's like the worst sports figure in Toronto history. I read some tweets like that. I started laughing.
Oh, he'll eat it.
No,
he's
gonna get it.
Yeah,
especially with the reports that, Rantanen was a potential Leaf. Had Marner been willing to waive,
he definitely gassed that one. Yeah.
Ooh.
No, he's gonna get it so bad either way. He just is.
If he does walk, he might want to walk his way to the West Coast.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a foregone conclusion that
Utah.
Mitch Marner is not a Toronto. Yeah, you know what? That's the one I keep thinking too.
Yeah,
I'm
played for the Mammoth.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people talking about Vegas, but yeah, I feel like, like an opportunity, like you talk about a fresh start, right?
Yeah.
Now, whether he wants to win right away or trying to build something, but man, you got a clean slate to play.
He doesn't want to win. He just wants to. He
wants to get paid and go west.
Yeah, he doesn't want to win CBall. He wants 100 points in the regular season.
Anonymity.
He wants to go golfing.
Anonymity. I still remember Jeremy Roenick talking about playing in San Jose, and he said it's the best. He said you got a packed arena like a Canadian crowd with zero media, with no accountability. It's the best, right? I think a lot of guys like that. All right, still to come. We're going to play Don't Puck It Up and an opportunity to hang out with us. Yeah, those details all coming up next right here on the Clearing the Crease podcast powered by BODOG. Clearing the Crease podcast rolls on, powered by BODOG. And hey, coming up June 26th. Yeah, this is coming up quick here, people. We're playing poker. That's right. We're getting our cards on. Commie, Razor, Cebulski, a chance to come play with us. We're going to share some further details here in the coming days, or a chance to find out, if you want to, there'll be bounties on us. You can kick our asses, or, you can play nice to us and allow us to just get our pots respectively even bigger and bigger. Commie, you're itching for this one. I think you've got a history of taking down big pots in poker.
Yeah, that's right. I am the charity poker king. I'm going to anoint myself that. Last time I played poker was December in Aspen for a charity. A few cocktails were involved, and I steamrolled the entire field. And you know what? I was even a nice guy. I donated my winnings back to the charity too. That was just kind of my way to get invited back to the event. And now they can't not invite me anymore. I have to come back. I just donated $8,000. But yeah, looking forward to it. June 26th, like you said, more details to come. But playing a little poker is always fun.
Razor, I'm pretty good with my crazy eights, so I feel like this parlayed into a couple pocket aces and all of it. How about you?
Like Commie, I think I could be dangerous because no matter what the odds say, I'm going to be doing the exact opposite. So I could be, free lunch for somebody on BODOG who knows what they're doing, but I could also be very dangerous if I get the right cards and you just start hammering guys and they start getting mad that you're doing the wrong thing. And that's always interesting. So this isn't for charity. This is for the big bucks. And I am going to be leaning into this as much as I can and hoping I just keep coming up pair aces every time my hand comes up. So should be fun, but far from a Rain Man type guy when it comes to cards.
It's funny. A buddy of mine, Sean McCormick, loves hosting, big card games in Toronto over the years. And, and as a guy, for me, I always kind of, look at my money and it's like, okay, this is going into the pot. I'm going to have some drinks. I'm going to enjoy myself and have some fun, whatever. And it's usually the cost of doing business and just like, okay, I'm not preparing to win. But because I am more of an unknown compared to guys who like to see themselves as sharks, we're the guys who love to screw things up, right? Because we are unpredictable.
And playing cards you shouldn't. Yeah, you can win with cards you shouldn't.
Unpredictability, exactly. And you can kind of just really screw with a guy who just overthinks it. So we're coming at you. We're going to get in your kitchen.
Yes.
You want to sing it and bring it? Come on, hang out with us on June 26th. All right, time for Don't Puck It Up. All right, here's where I'm going here, guys. I'm just going to fire this one out, but I'm looking at the NHL, the National Hockey League. Don't puck it up, all right? The game is fast. There's lots of offense and skill right now. But you are sucking the freaking life out of traditional fans by playing a season that is way too long with games that are way too spaced out in this Stanley Cup final. All right? 5 games played in a span of almost 3 weeks? That is horse manure. All right? The weather is nice. People are going outside. They're checking out. Like, this is a great matchup, and people are watching with the Panthers and the Oilers. But just imagine it was the other 2 conference finalists. Imagine this was a series featuring Dallas and Carolina. Huh?
I'd be
right?
fired
This
up.
Cup final, yeah, maybe for you. All right. Now, this Cup final was set. This Cup final matchup was set on May 29th. And as we record this here on June 16th, we have played 5 games in 19 days. Woof. All right. Wrap it up in Victoria Day, Memorial Day. Wrap this up in May. The ice was taken out of most rinks months ago, right? Unless you think hockey is a summer sport, try playing in the Summer Olympics then, okay? But enough of this hockey in June and dragging the season out by playing 2 games a week. It's killing the vibe. NHL, don't puck it up anymore.
I like that.
Come
I'll go
on.
next. CBall, I'll take the next one. I'm not exactly tuned in to the New York Rangers. They're way out east, obviously. I'm on the West Coast. So I can't say I know all the comings and goings of the New York Rangers. But anything I do hear or read, it seems like a catastrophe behind closed doors. In the last 12 months, they've gone from like President's Trophy winners to now like what seems like kind of a fire sale. And we've got people, we got little kind of dark moves to get rid of guys and throwing guys under the bus kind of. So maybe they already pucked it up. Who knows? But you never know till the next season starts. But Kreider just got traded. There's rumors other guys, half the teams or everybody's on the block. So, yeah, I mean, I played with Chris Drury. Everybody said Chris Drury's a real nice guy. He seems like a real as a GM. And this Dolan guy, I heard a little bit about him at Cyprus. I guess he is a real douchebag. But let's maybe stop fucking this up, try and keep it a little bit together, and get moving in the right direction here in New York.
Yeah, I think you summed up the feelings of every New York Knicks fan as well there, Commie.
They hate him with the Knicks, too.
Right? Like, honestly, attitude reflects leadership. What the report comes out that you want to get rid of Trouba and Kreider, and what happened to that team from a leadership standpoint, right? That
Just
team went off the rails
nosedive
by Thanksgiving last year. It's spot on. Razor?
Lots of action in New York. Well, I'll stick with the Stanley Cup Finals, and I'll go to both teams. I'll give reasons why both teams can't puck this up. One, Edmonton, win Game 6, dudes. You guys had all of the magic around all of the Connor McDavid comparison to Sidney Crosby, comparison to Wayne Gretzky, winning after losing. All of the historical magic of the NHL was surrounding you here. Don't lose in 6 to the Florida Panthers. Don't, because that will change legacies. And now the question is, when will McDavid ever win? Is he going to re-sign in Edmonton? Who's Edmonton's goalies, etc.? It's just going to be not as much fun, and we'll really lose the bluster of the fact they've gone to 2 finals in a row. On the other side, Florida, you can become a dynasty, win 1 game at home. You've had everything go your way to this point. You haven't been able to close out at home. Do it this time. Because if you go back to Edmonton, you're probably going to be on the other side of that magical history. So you better close out Game 6. Don't puck it up, Florida. Don't puck it up, Edmonton.
I like that.
Yeah. How do we look at the Panthers if they win 2 out of 3 Stanley Cups or 1 out of 3 Stanley Cups, right? Like it's a different
the
vibe.
Margin's nuts right now for these guys.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And on that note, hey, don't forget, everybody, that every single episode's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much to everyone listening regularly. Hey, and if you're enjoying the Clearing the Crease podcast, be sure to leave a 5-star review and help spread the word on both Apple and Spotify. You can find us at Clearing the Crease Hockey on X and Twitter, or you can also find us at Clearing the Crease on Instagram as well. He's Commie. He's Razor. I'm CBall. Thanks so much to our producer, Stu Stone. We'll see you next time right here on the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by BODOG. See ya.